Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here for Day Trading Radio and market update and some other important information I want to send out to you on how to get some great alerts and how to trade without trading, or actually trade without trading money. The last month has been something, huh? The markets have been ripping higher. And we're going to just start off taking a look at an individual chart here of the S&P, because that's our benchmark index that I tend to look at mostly. And Intel is on the screen right there because we're going to talk about that in a second. I was doing some charting, but this is the chart we're looking at right now. And just to introduce myself, my name is DayTraderRockStar, or some people call me John. I host a show, a daily trading show, DayTradingRadio.com, each and every day. We've been doing this live every single day since 2007. I've been trading live since 1996. We trade options, futures, stocks, but we also specialize, and I specialize on pointing out the best spots in the market to trade. And you could use this to your advantage in many different ways, especially for futures traders and short-term scalpers. This is excellent type of trading for daily traders, people who gather at the site each and every day in our chat rooms and we trade together, and for the swing traders and position traders and people who are buying things in their retirement accounts or in their portfolios and stuff, and pretty much what we call swing trading, holding for more than a day, holding it for more than 2 weeks, holding it for more than months. We kind of like to point out these areas. Now, if I could show you a typical chart and say, where would you like to be in this chart on the S&P? Now, the S&P is the Standard & Poor's 500. It's the basket of stocks that really makes the overall market. The S&P 500, 500's best stocks that make it to the index, and that's what really measures the market. When you hear the market's up 100 points or down 100 points, it's usually, the S&P, the Dow, or the NASDAQ. You're hearing, in some cases, the Russell. But we look at the big picture here and we say, well, if I were to ask you, where would you like to get in on the market, and where would you like to get out? Most people will say, I'd like to get in here and get out here, or get in here and get out here. So I continue, that's great. It all depends on your time frame. If I said if you were, had to only work with a month time frame, a monthly time frame, show me on the chart where you would like to get, like 30 days. And again, pretty easy to say, all right, here's January to February. Look at this nice move up here. I would like to be in January and out February. I wouldn't want to be in February and out March because that's going down, but I'd rather be in March and to April, or I'd be in June to July, or into July into August. I wouldn't want to be in the markets from August down to September, maybe September not doing much, September to October not doing much, October to November not doing much. But sure enough, you would like to be in the market in November. In November, we have seen the biggest rally ever. And what we specialize here in Day Trading Radio is identifying these levels where you want to get in. And how do we do that? Well, we use a set of indicators and a methodology that I've developed over 20 years of trading. And you can apply this methodology on what I call multiple time frames, meaning if you want to trade daily, or you want to trade the minute or the 5 minute or the hourly time frames. These are different time frames you could trade. It all depends on how you want to profit from the market. Do you want to keep your stocks in it, or do you want to get in and get out and take those profits? Now, we have it covered every which way. So as you can see, we recently came down to this channel and we squared this off. Now, if you're not familiar with my trading style, we identify a lot of the setups by putting indicate or annotations on the chart, usually circles or squares representing what we like. And I'm a divergence trader, so if you're familiar with divergences, stochastic divergence, MACD divergence, RSI divergences, I specialize in divergence trading. I teach that each and every day. I have courses on it. I teach it to our members. I trade using the systems, and it works out great. So recently we kind of were focusing on this area, which was an underlying trend line and a lower trend line. And not to get ahead of myself or to put too much in your head if you're not familiar with trading, I like to start people off trading from the bottom up, give them a good foundation. So sometimes these videos go out expecting you to have a little knowledge of the markets, but if you don't, that's okay too. I don't want to get ahead of you, but if you always need that extra understanding, feel free to email me or leave a comment, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. So anyway, this area right here was a really good buy zone. Because it was a lower trend, it was an underlying trend line, what we call a 1-2-3 pattern, and a rising trend line, which goes all the way out to 2022, that recent low. And we kind of X marks the spot. Now, markets tend to flush out. When they flush out, it usually kind of breaks down through a level, then comes right back. And that's exactly what happened here. And we pushed right up against this, and then we popped. And this is where we are today, actually. This little candle up here, some people might call it a morning star, some people might have other names for it, but it's just a candle, it's a candlestick, and it tells the history of what the price has been doing during the day, and leaves the candle to kind of mark that off. And you can see there's been a very bullish trend up here. There's not much downside. There was like 10 days in a row, then we had a down day, then we continued to rally, and we gapped up, and we continued to rally. And today was kind of a flat day. And you can see some of the indicators I have on my screen up here. These lines, these are very bullish lines. Now, we kind of call this rally because of the weekly setup. The weekly time frame is a bigger time frame that most people really don't pay attention to, unless you are looking for a reason for a market to rally strong. And this rotation here of the stochastics rotated up, and the interesting thing is we're not quite into an overbought level yet, and we have recent highs here up in August. There's a lot of things that are telling us that we could go higher. The overall all-time highs back here in 2022, it's amazing we're that close away. We just a week ago we were talking about bear market territory when we were selling off so hard, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Now, if we look back at it, we take the high here, and this is where we were. We were down 14% at that low here in it was October. No, maybe it was October. Maybe the beginning of November, October. It was down 14%, which is 10% is what we consider a technical correction. Now, if we look at where we are now, we're only 6% off all-time highs, and that's really big. I mean, markets have been strong, and we're coming into a very bullish time of the year. So the first thing I want to talk about, give a big shout out to Jeff Hirsch, a good friend of ours here at Day Trading Radio. He's the Stock Trader Almanac, and he has a great little almanac that he sends out, and this is actually on his Tumblr, jeffhirsch.tumblr.com, jeffhirsch.tumblr.com. And we're looking at the typical November trading situation here, and how spot on this has been. Now, the dotted lines here represent, this is over time. Again, market performance, recent 2021 year, 2002 to 2022. And then the pre-election years from 1950 to 2019, because they, of course, only happen every 4 years. So you can see the regular markets. This is the month of November, and typically we have a very bullish start of November, which we did, and then we kind of chop around until the end of November, and where we have a very extreme, strong rally. And this is over time. This is an average over 21 years. So this average is working out good. This is really good. On the bottom of this, you can actually see you could see where that is. That's probably on this chart right here, on the not the pre-election years, but on the regular years. It looks like on the 11th of November, 14th trading day into the month, is where we typically come out of that chop and start heading back up. But on pre-election years, it goes a little bit further down to about the 17th day trading day of the month, and that comes around November 24th. So basically, the last week of November is very, very extremely bullish. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Right now, it's the 15th, but this is something we're going to keep an eye on. So a big shout out to Jeff Hirsch. I love his charting. He's a good, highly recommend getting the Stock Trader Almanac, and even just signing up for his Tumblr here, because he has such great information there. All right, so that's the first thing that we have looking forward going out for us. So this going into mid-November, we already got a huge move, right? We already got this huge move. We look at the daily, we go back to the daily, beginning of November. Now, typically we tend to get a pullback and sloppiness into this time frame, so I wouldn't be surprised to get a little pullback here. I wouldn't not, that's okay. I trade short term, and we really focus a lot on futures trading. So for the futures traders out there, I got some good stuff for you. But the stock trading comes into play also, because I'm always scanning stocks, and every week we send out a watch list to our stock traders. It's called the high probability setup watch list, or the 10 for 1,000 watch list. There's two names to it because we've been in it for so long. That was in 2007 when I originally sent it out. It was called the 10 for 1,000 watch list. It was 10 stocks to make you $1,000 for the week. But I go over a lot more stocks, and we do focus on those, and those I really put out on that watch list goes out usually over the weekend, and it prepares you for the next week for members at DayTradingRadio.com. Futures traders, that we concentrate during the day, and we do stocks during the day, but we tend to monitor our long-term swings. I like to be in stocks, not the day trade stocks, because the day trading action comes with the futures. There's so many more opportunities with the futures, and you get the leverage and stuff, and you have such a great opportunity to make money with the futures that I don't deal with the stocks during the intraday scalping process. What I like to do is get into stocks and get in when we have our signal. So let's start that before anything. Let's just go over a couple stocks. Now, I'm not going to take credit for a technical explosion here, but we did on this week's watch list. My best bet was Target. One of the best bets. There's actually a couple best bets there, and Target was one of our good setups here. Our buy trigger was 110.56, so we got in there, and then yesterday I got in a little bit more because we had earnings coming up, but I had a feeling that the wokeness was going to be woke up out of the Target, and Target was going to get a nice little pop, and boy did it get a pop here, up to 130. So I ended up getting up, let's see if we look at the alerts here, and I sold my Target at 125. It did go up another 5 points, but I also got in at 110, so 15 points, you'll take that any day. So we made, just on 70 shares, made over $1,000 on that trade, and I'm out of it. But I expect, looking back at Target here and see where it came from, I expect it to actually go a little bit higher. I'll just kind of give you another setup here. We got into there's other stocks that I like down here. We'll go through a couple of them. SWK, I do like the SWK in this nice based out base here, and a nice turn back up on the stochastics gives us great momentum. This is absolutely fantastic. It's 89, so we're long SWK, and let me bring up my watch list here. Hey. All right. Take care, Dolly. See you later. Dolly's leaving the office. Let's see here. What was I at here? Oh, all right. So PSA, Target, Johnson & Johnson. So Johnson & Johnson, it started a position today in Johnson & Johnson. Actually, I'll show you that. That's kind of a freebie for non-members out there, just to know that we just get into this J&J today. J&J is based off a divergence setup. In a divergence setup, whenever we have a downward channel here, a nice organized channel, and then we kind of make a low, we pop back up to the channel, we come back down, and we kind of make a double bottom here, but the stochastics have turned back up aggressively. So that we see, and what happens is we put our order in here on the divergence, and our target's going to be outside this channel. So our target will be up here at one point, probably 4 to 5 points. But I like to use the stochastics as our entry divergence, but also as our exit as we get overbought on these. I might be jumping around here. I also want to welcome the members back here that went back live here. So while I'm doing the video, I'll just do this live. Also, Day Trading Radio. Keeping an eye on the CABA. CABA, a nice little flag. If we zoom out on this, especially on the weekly chart, you'll see something that we like. We like these big, long patterns where we're approaching all-time highs. The all-time high is right above this. I got an alert in here for the members. So if we can actually break this line, which is right above us around, I think it was 1850 area. Once we break that, this thing could take off. We just had a cross up on the weekly. Everything looks good. Just kind of one to keep out there. I'm telling you, I'm going to actually put another alert on this right now to kind of give us an early update. This will be at 19 and change. Let me set that alert. All right. So I just want to go through that. Unity was a divergence recently. We called that one out. It has still has a little pop, but it's getting overbought. I wouldn't get in it at this point. ALB had some news last week on the CEO being, I don't know if he was indicted, but he was connected, made some fraudulent activities. But that got hit pretty good, and it's coming back. And I like this ALB. I'm actually holding a little down at this level. We had to kind of deal with the drop there for a second, but it is starting to come back down. We'll see if that ends up being any real setup there. My cost average is at 130 on here, 130. Had Yeti on the watch list also, and again, you'll notice, and I always talk about this. So if you're familiar with my charting here, and when we talk about divergences, when we spot something either on the watch list or something, I'll put a circle on it right when we spot it and say we like this, we spot it. We never go back and put a circle on it. So this kind of gives us an update on how we like these stocks, if we like them, and when we like them. So we kind of pointed this one out here on this divergence, and we're looking at that, and you can see it has a nice power move up here. So I still like the Yeti on this also. There's a couple other ones here that I'll just go over real fast. Let me get the prices up here. Costco, of course, is a breakout. We call that breakout 575. That was big. Watching the Eli Lilly here. That's cute. Nothing there. Nothing there. Let me see. Oh, here's the best bet here. Another best bet is Deere. Deere is the other best bet for the weekend. Again, we circled that right there. Last time we liked it on that trend line, and we almost got down to it. We marked it off, said buy it if it hits that trend line. Came down a little bit after it, and then bounced back up. Came up to the trend line, pulled back a little. The gap down is always interesting because when you gap down and then you start moving back up, that's usually a good sign. And because the low here, and this is what we call a relative low, it comes back down to the closing prices, but takes out the closing prices. And it's a higher stochastic rotation, as I mentioned right there, from this place. That's a relative divergence, and that's a real strong one in the downward channel. So Deere is a good setup for us. DE. All right. That looks really good, and I would probably even throw Caterpillar into that mix here, even though I didn't bring it up and call it out or anything. Let me see if there's anything else here. Waste management. Waste management getting closer to the all-time high here, so we're watching that. It did pull back today. Look at that big pullback. I do have it on my list, but no position in this one. And it did get hit today, actually. I'm just looking at it. It got hit pretty good. Just looking at a couple other. We're going to jump over to the other thing here. Disney. We took Disney off on the last that earnings gap up. We took Disney off. One I really do love, and we might take this one off tomorrow. So for the members out there getting this, is Intel. This was our turnaround play of the day. We got into this in September off of this trend line, and definitely expected it to move higher all year. It did break down here when the market was making the lows, but then it gapped up and it just ran away. And now, if we get any follow through tomorrow and get anywhere close to this trend line, this box up here, and I'll put that box to kind of point that out right there. This line up here, we get anywhere close to that. I think you should be taking profits and just again continue to trade the setups. All right, so just continue to trade those setups. One last divergence here on our list here is Medtronics, was went over on the video, and you can see this. Perfect, right? Double bottom. Says watch for that turn back up. If we got that turn back up, it's going to be a double bottom divergence. It's exactly what it is. So it still looks pretty good. I don't have a position in this, but we do go over a lot of them. I take some positions in some, and the others are just get sent out as alerts. But this is also continue to look like a great bottom play here. And all these, like I mentioned earlier, these stocks are for our stock traders that maybe are not involved in the market every single day, but want to get in on these trades and have a longer term position and hold and just feel good about it. Like if I could zoom out here and we look at where these stocks are, I want to be able to say why we're getting into it. Maybe it was a quad rotation here and then we're overbought and get it out there. But this looks like this is a textbook bottom right here. Textbook bottom. So that is important. So let's jump over to the futures now. And again, if you want these alerts and you're not a member, head over to DayTraderRockStar.com and you'll see all the information there. All right. The futures today, we've been really focused on the, trading futures. A lot of people on the site are trading the prop accounts. We deal with two firms, Bull Knox and Apex. Information will be in the video link if you want to use the coupons to get that and join us at Day Trader Radio and do this and get these alerts, because these alerts will qualify you over time. The Bull Knox coupon is DTR NOV for November. It's 71% off their things. And again, I'm not going to go into exactly what the prop trading is, but basically you get to use, you open up a sim account. They'll give you a simulated account for like 50,000, 100,000, 200. You make the choice. You'll get a data feed, you'll get software, you get everything, and you get to trade it. And if you make a certain amount of money without losing a certain amount of money, then you qualify for a real account, and they'll give you a real account. And there's a fee involved. It's not that much. For the evaluation account, it's usually $20 to $30. So you have $20, $30, you could qualify. And then if you qualify by making, like an example, I always use a 50K account, you make $3,000 on it. You have 7 contracts, you could do that. And they give you all the time. Basically, you're basically trying to prove or an evaluation account, a qualification account. And if you do that, then you get the real account. You get the first 10,000 that you make, and then you split the rest of the money 90-10. 90% goes to you, 10% goes to the firm. And there's no skin, there's no reason, I should say there's no obligation or any you don't have to, if you blow up the account or anything like that, that's fine. You're not responsible, or you don't even deal with anybody. It's all done through the it's all done through the websites and stuff. But you get the Ninja Trader platform, you get the rhythmic feed, And with Day Trading Radio, you're going to get the entries, and it's going to be there. Void Twit, I see you in the room there. So, when we get in the morning, usually 8:30, we had the PPI today, and it popped up here. We knew that this was going to be a big issue, this pop-up here, because it set up a big divergence. And there was a divergence on the 1 minute, 5 minute, all kinds of time frames. That big pop like that, and then the market kind of sold off, chopped around. And what we're searching for during the market is, again, divergences. We have three typical setups that I trade off of these trades. And now, excuse me, just having a little drink there. We have a lot of bots, a lot of indicators to help us identify these zones. So right now, the underlying trend line here, again, how we get to these things is in the education area of the site. But we explain, 2 points make a straight line, and when you have a straight line and you get a price coming back down to it, you typically want to bounce off of that. But it also comes down with these 4 indicators. These are stochastic bands. These are quad 4. They're called the quad 4. That's kind of I could just call it the quad. I call it the quad 4. It's the same thing. Quad and 4, same. So we watch these, and these are multiple time frames: 9-3, 14-3, 44, and 60-10. 60-10 is the bottom one. The 9-3 is the top, and these are the 2 important ones. The other 2 are going to help us along the way too, but the lower one and the top one they work together, and we're able to read the market so well with these things, like a cardiologist. Cardiologist read an echocardiogram. It's the pulse of the market. We could tell if it's oversold, overbought, if it's trending down, if it's trending higher, is it a bull flag, bear flag. This is years and years and years of testing and trading and refining this, and we've made it down to a science. And this science is now what we call the HPS method, and what I teach. So during the day, we kind of point these areas out. But there's only 3 that we want to take. And if you take any more than the super signals, or what we call the HPS super signals, then you're overtrading. And overtrading will destroy all traders. And overtrading, the definition of overtrading is trading. Any trade that you take that is not a generated signal is considered overtrading. It's gambling. All right. Now, the signals is what I kind of try to teach people, but we're all human, and we will get involved in the markets even when there is not a signal, because we're sitting in front of our computers. A lot of our traders are full-time traders in our rooms, and that's what we do. We have to make money. We want to make money, so we're here, so we might as well push a button and see what happens. But the truth is, the more you push that button, the more chance you have to lose. You don't have more chance to win. The market is it's if every as the old saying goes, if this was easy, everyone would be doing it. Danny Boy got some PANW. Nice. It's up to 230. Yeah, I saw a drop. I saw some people getting into it. I saw you get into it, I think, earlier after the close, but I didn't jump in there. So what did we get today? So we knew that the market was kind of up here, and we had to watch this level, and we kind of were looking for it to push back up and maybe even take that level out. But what happened was that closing price. You can see that candle, that tail, that shadow, that tail up there, and then you had the body. So that's a big part of a candle, is where the body closes, or where that candle closes or opens, and where the tail, the extension, goes. I always pay attention to the closing prices. The closing prices were right there. So we wanted to have them both. So that was the high. This was the closing price. And look what happened. We got up there to almost to a tick. We took that out. We did. We took it out, and we kind of cleared those. And if anybody had any stops up there, it kind of cleared it out. And then the market started pulling back from that level. And, and I have to stress for people trading with us, this goes out to the members too. Look at this. I want to actually show you this chart here, and I went over this during the day. Let's go back to the SPY here, which is just the ETF on this. Was it the SPY or the SPX? Let's just take a look at the SPX. There we go. So today we were looking at the SPX, and I was pointing out, kind of making sure you're not over trading. And one of the rules that I put out here, 545. One of the rules I put out is always trade with the stochastics in your favor, meaning don't go long when the stochastics are overbought, and don't go short when the stochastics are oversold. The odds are you're going to get a rotation. That's what the stochastic George Lane, made these things to kind of follow the momentum, and the momentum is key. And when you're able to see a choppy market like this, and that momentum is intact, and these indicators are just working like clockwork, why would you do anything different? And so each time you got oversold here on the 9.3 and the 14.3, you had a little bias to the upside. In some cases you had a bigger bias. A lot of these are 10 to 20 point moves. I'm just not zoomed in here, but from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, this went from 86 to 507. That's a 20 point move. Here oversold. That's the end of the day. That's the next day. Here a little move, 3 to 4 points. But the point is being on the right side of the market and not over trading. That is the key. If it's the most simplest thing I could tell people is not to over trade. The more time you're in the market, the more time you have a shot of losing. So again, that's just a great little chart I put out today, and we just followed that, and we ended the day right here. So I wouldn't be surprised to actually see a little gap up tomorrow, just because of that 5-minute cash chart. Now the cash doesn't open up until 9:30. The futures will open up after that. We'll have that spread between the cash and the futures until they kind of come together in about an hour or so into the trade, and then things kind of sync up. But until then, that 5-minute cash chart is going to be oversold. We'll see what happens in the morning. But I'm going to be tracking these again because it works so well. It should continue to work. And if it doesn't, and we start to see a trending market, you just take the opposite. Excuse me. You take the trade that if it's a downtrending market, you sell the rips or you short the pops. You don't go long in a downtrending market. And if you do go long, you take it off on the first time it rotates back down. There's some of these simple rules here that are going to make you be successful. Now, that was just the cash chart, and that's a bigger picture on the 5-minute time frame. Now, we pay attention to the 1-minute time frame because we like to even, kind of almost hyper scalp the markets in some cases. We look for this divergence and a quad rotation. Now, my quad rotation setup is shown by straight lines on our stochastics where they all line up like this. Like there was a little quad rotation here. And it had a little pop, and it kind of pushed back down. And there was a good quad rotation, not here. That was a quad rotation sell signal right here on the VWAP. That's what I put there. And we dropped off. And then we came down here, and I was looking for a divergence, but I don't see the divergence. There might have been one, but it was more of a quad rotation right there. And you can see that big move up. And we kind of had a pullback. I put a trend line in there. We had a kind of a quad rotation sell signal right up here. I didn't mark that off because we weren't paying attention. Wasn't really just looking at a short there. And to move back down here. Let's see here. This is later in the day. This is right at the close. So that was basically it. And as you can see, there wasn't tremendous signals today. I mean, there was some good signals. Let's mention something that we have running all the time here for you at Day Trading Radio. We have what's called the RockBot channel. The RockBot channel and the RockBot scripts. If you have the NinjaTrader platform, and if you do have the platform, you can get the scripts to run them on your own machine. And these scripts are going to identify these setups for you. and that's typically how I trade these. So let's bring this down here. Some of these, let's see, we use different time frames. That's on the 1 minute, but I like to use the volume chart, the 1000 volume chart, and I used the Super Signal quad here. And this signal is so good that when it rings, when we get the alert in the room, I usually take those trades and get right in and take them off. Now I'm trading the MES, which are the micro contracts. And I do that for a reason. First of all, if you're wrong on the ES, you could get really run over and really hurt. And the micros, with me hosting and doing everything else, it kind of keeps me a little bit more easier to interact with the members instead of going into, deer in the headlights type of mode when you are holding a bigger position. So I trade a lot of the MESs. I consider this a slow and steady race. A couple $100 each day is fine, and you can see the signals here, and each one of these signals gave you an opportunity for a nice pop. And this runs here, and the members get the Rockbot automatically, the channel, but you have an opportunity to get those scripts. If you're not a member, you can actually get the scripts and run them on your NinjaTrader platform. Even if you're not a member, I'm going to actually go over that right now. And then I get a split because I got to pick up my daughter. She's I might have to run here soon. I'm going to leave off at this. I have a lot more to talk about, but I want to send this video out because we covered a lot of stuff. But I want to cover two other things here real fast. We have a couple other indicators you can use. The tradeometer, it's going to give you the multiple indicator quad divergence. That comes with your membership here at Day Trading Radio. But we're activating and starting a new benefit here for members, and I'm also opening up for non-members. But you have to. There is a small fee for non-members, but it's very reasonable. So I want to show you what it is. We're going to be using this service called the Zello Network to do HPS or these Super Signal callouts, and I've been trying to roll it out over the last couple last month. I've been rolling it out, but I haven't really been using it. I've been getting people on board. We have a lot of members on it, and I'm going to try to put it active tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be a first full day of activity on the Zello network. So if you're a member and you want to get on the Zello, look back. I'll send out the we'll set you up on the Zello. Zello is an app on your phone. So you go to the app on your phone and you download Zello. Then you do a search for DayTraderRockStar. Do the search for DayTraderRockStar. Add me to your as a friend, a contact. This is an easy way of just doing it. If you want to try to do it, I can walk you through it. And then also go to channels under DayTraderRockStar, and you'll see Futures Audio Traders Network, which is where we're going to be broadcasting these alerts. And this is going to work as a walkie-talkie. You can do so much with this little app. You're going to hear me say, all right, we have a quad rotation or we have a super signal. All right, quad rotation or super signal are going to be the two things that we're going to be talking about on the Zello. It doesn't go out. Only alerts go out when I send them out. That way, if you're not near your computer and you want to be alerted to them, that will get you alerted to it. All right. All right. So if you want to get on that the Futures Trade Alert Network here, it's a pretty cool system here. So if you're not a member, if you're a member of Day Trading Radio, you automatically get on it. But if you'd like to get on and support the site, you could go to the Patreon, Day Trading Radio, Patreon. All right, Day Trading Radio, Patreon. All right, that's how I'm setting people up on that. You could get your Rockbot scripts there. If you're not a member, you could add those to your account using this Patreon. But here, this is pretty good. You click on this; it explains how to do this. You're gonna send it. You're gonna get a password after you sign up, and that's gonna enable you to log in and get the alerts. So you just click on join and you'll get that. And you get a bunch of other stuff too, kind of, for those out there. But that's how you're going to get this Futures Traders Network, Futures Trader alerts going forward. I just started this. I haven't really promoted or anything. It's just started. The Rockbot scripts also just first time offering those to other people other than members of Day Trading Radio, and they're very reasonable too. All right, so there's 20 spots open. One just got taken, and that's a great thing also. And again, these scripts, if you can read more about them, head over to Day Trading Radio. There's a lot of information on Day Trading Radio, but if you want to get these separate from the membership or support Day Trading Radio in any way you can, go right ahead. Please do. There's a lot of information on that. But that's how you get it. So Future Trade Alert, join it. You'll get the send me your information on the Zello, and I'll connect you, and you'll get the alerts instantaneous. And if you would like to support Day Trading Radio, what time is it? 6 o'clock. Futures just opened up. All right, Futures just opened up here. All right, so Futures just opened. So I want to get out of here. I want to leave you be, and we'll catch you tomorrow in the markets. Hope everyone has a good evening, and I hope you gain something from this video. If you have any questions or anything, you can email me at ironaction@yahoo.com. That's IRONACTION, ironaction@yahoo.com.